How are you doing, Glenn?
Very good, Stefan. Nice to meet
I,
you.
you too. I really enjoyed the movie. It was very enchanting, I thought. I was just wondering, because obviously it's your directorial debut in the feature form. I was wondering how you found that kind of transition from sort of directing kind of shorts into making a fully length feature.
Well, actually, I was taught by Walt Disney's Nine Old Men, who were directing animators. They would take sequences of a movie and really do all the work of a director and yet also animating. And that was how I approached my entire career, from Little Mermaid to Beauty and the Beast, or Pocahontas and Tarzan. I would just animate, but working with a team, taking sections of the movie. This was just a much longer, more sections together. But the big difference for me was in those other films, I didn't have to worry about where we were going, like the whole movie. Somebody else was sitting there with the navigation map, and I didn't have to worry about that. This one, I did. How is all this going to fit together? And Audrey Wells had written the most beautiful screenplay for us to be able to deliver that. When I was reading it, I was so moved. She wrote it from such a personal viewpoint. It cannot help but touch you. So I knew what I had was a very clear goal and a very strong main character. Those elements gave me so much confidence.
I mean, it is a beautiful screenplay by Audrey, of course, the late Audrey. I was just wondering about what a gift this is she left behind the world to leave this story after passing away.
When you put your heart and soul into something, people feel it.
Mm.
I mean, obviously for her, there was nothing more important in her life than this particular movie, knowing that it was going to be the means for her daughter to move forward and to deal with loss. Everything she said every film that she did was about healing. And in the making of this movie, we lived we lived that experience. Many people went through the loss of loved ones, even in the making of this film. And when Audrey did pass, you felt like there was this baton given to us that we needed to bring it all the way to fruition. And then the pandemic hit. And in one day, suddenly, at the height of production, we had to leave the building and somehow hit the deadline the next day and the next week and the next week from our homes. And it was an incredible challenge, but that same passion carried us through.
And I mean, this film has got some beautifully crafted and great characters within it. And I think, obviously, if you look at your work, you've always worked very closely with specific characters. Is there a character across your career you most enjoyed working on?
I would have to say, and there'd be two characters. For me, it was so much about, well, there's really three, but I say Little Mermaid, the Beast, and Feifei. These characters all contain this believing the impossible is possible. A mermaid could walk on land. The Beast, somebody could look inside of him. For Feifei to be able to believe that she could build a rocket to the moon when everybody's telling her, no, that there's no goddess there, that she's not going to stop. I love characters that have got that kind of spark in them.
Yeah, so my final question was just about the kind of future of the industry from an animation viewpoint, because so much talk is about when they're going to get back to shooting movies like they once did, because obviously of social distancing. But do the same rules apply for animations? Because obviously it's quite an isolated experience for many people. It's not got that same hustle and bustle of a film set where there's kind of hundreds of people on location. So can you envisage that animations will be still quite easily made in this kind of weird time?
Yeah, I've been feeling that Netflix, just as a studio in itself, is an entirely new experiment. We were the first planted in a facility there at Netflix. This was the first launching of an animated film. It became the crossroads of the world of animation. instead of like one runway where you're releasing a film, there are many, many runways, many films in production from people all over the world, because we are working in partnership with people everywhere. So I think that this is going to free up more and more people from other cultures to tell their story. The big challenge on this film was the score. We were going to record it at Abbey Road. Stephen Price, who won the Academy Award for Gravity, I was so excited to work with him. We were going to go to Abbey Road, but we couldn't. And then Abbey Road, we couldn't record there. We needed to do it in Vienna. So I'm, here in California, working with Stephen in London, who's directing the entire orchestra in Vienna. His score was so exquisite, though. Every time I hear it, I cannot help but break into tears, though I made the film, but his music still touches me so deeply.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a real pleasure, and best of luck with the movie.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!